Hey guys, Colby Lawson here. Reaction video, Rev says desu. Let's get right into it.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So it looks like this is another big win for gamers and another big loss for the modern audience. It appears that Xbox is shutting down the studio Compulsion Games, which is not only a woke studio, but one that put $100 million on the line for its award-winning game, South of Midnight. Well, it turns out the accolades, the positive articles, all the shilling, it was not enough because at the end of the day, this game absolutely flopped, and people are seeing this as another victory for gamers, especially when the studio hired community managers who are not only racist, but have openly admitted that they hate gamers. In fact, this same community manager, as we'll see later in this video, is crashing out on Blue Sky right now, not only saying a bunch of anti-white sentiment, but also trying to urge people to die for celebrating the shutdown of the studio. Wild stuff. So here's South of Mid.
Wait, 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 wait. You mean to tell me that these folks are still doing this? Oh my lord. Yeah, we just drop dead because we don't, we don't, we don't have the same ideology that they do. You know, I mean, we're not big fans of it either. What I don't what? So let me get this straight. We can't have we can't you know we can't we can't have our own ideology. We can't do anything without being criticized for it. You know, I mean, it's bad enough to keep trying to force this bullshit down our throats and everywhere in our every aspect of our lives. And now um and like before they still want us dead for it. You know, so much for peaceful and loving. I mean, okay. I don't understand why these people have to just be pure psychopaths. Like they just waste like 99% of their lives being unhinged psychopaths for no reason at all, mind you. No reason at all. Well, I mean, mostly because they can't get their way, but that's still like that's not really a valid reason, dude. You know, no one should be shoving their ideology down anyone's throat. But at the end of the day, these folks do that more often than any other group of people. Like, well, I mean, of course, there are there's Islam, which we know is the religion of evil. That's basically the worshipping of Satan. But that's another story for another day. That's another can of worms. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe maybe someday I will, but like I try not to even fucking say I try not to talk about that because I don't even want it mentioned in the house. See there I go anyway. Okay, getting back to the video here. It's very clear that these people just cannot accept that we don't want anything to do with their ideology. And that's pretty sad. But I mean, it is what it is.
Midnight, as you can see, in the year plus since it was released, nobody's interested anymore. This is the modern audience, ladies and gentlemen. And if you scroll down,
Don't we know it?
this is the full-time Steam chart here, peaking at 1,400 players. Yes, a game with $100 million budget. 1,400 all-time peak.
You would think that a game with that amount of money put into it would have more than just 1,400 players. But like then again, considering that this is a woke game, it makes absolute sense because the modern audience simply isn't too big. Like there's just no making money off of them. Seriously, them people don't even know anything about video games other than that they're pixels. That's all they know about video games. They don't know the passion that's supposed to be going on. They don't know why video gaming is a hobby in the first place. They don't even know what makes video games good. Why video games were so notable. You know, why video games are so beloved. They don't even know any actual good video games. They have no taste in video games. Just like they have no taste in movies. We know this already, though. We know this, but they keep denying it because that's what they do best, is deny the truth or even try to twist it.
That's not going to cut it, right? But let's look at Compulsion Games. They are a very woke studio. I think there is no question about that. In fact, they were celebrating Tomb Raider in Crystal Dynamics, censoring offensive depictions contained throughout Tomb Raider in their remasters.
Since when is fan service? Since when is fan service in video game? Uh, since when is that offensive? Fan service has been a thing in media for a long damn time, and not just women. There was also men. Fan service has been a thing in media for a long time. You know, I don't understand what part of that is so difficult to understand. Like, do we seriously have to turn our brains off just to understand this shit? Because it seems like it at this point.
And Compulsion Games would quote their post and say, as we look to recreate and remaster these stories for modern audiences, it's important to consider the implications of these harmful portrayals.
No, it is not. Those portrayals are not even harmful. Why? Why are you lying? Good lord. Good lord, man. This is wild. This is like, this is so disingenuous. Like, oh yeah, fan service is totally harmful towards women and men. Like, and they're not even talking about men. It's just straight up talking about fucking women. Like, that's not at all harmful. That's not even a harmful portrayal. Like, it sounds more like, you know, it sounds more like catering to, uh, insecure woman than, you know, than anything else. It's just these people are literally catering to insecure women and other insecure individuals as well. Like, who the heck looks at, you know, a portrayal of a hot and sexy woman, you know, and it gets offended by that? I mean, of course, insecure women would get offended by that. We already know that. Now, I don't have, personally, I don't really look at appearance as, I really don't go off of looks as much as other men do, you know, but like, I don't even have a problem with fat women or anything. I mean, obesity is a completely different thing. I mean, or maybe they're related, I don't know. But, my 600-pound life or anything similar to that, that's what I'm thinking. That's the kind of shit that makes me go, yeah, no, no, no. I don't want anything to do with that. But, like, I don't understand why it's such a bad thing to portray women as hot and sexy. Like, I guess it's kind of subjective maybe, but I don't know, man. I just don't understand what the whole point of this shit is. Like, what is so harmful about the portrayal? What is so harmful about, like, fan service? Like, you know, I don't understand how that's harmful. There are things out in this world that are actually harmful. There's poison, there are criminals, um evil people, realistically, in general. There's Islam, there's Uh, there's there's pride. There's pride. We all know that's very harmful. There's a bunch of harmful things out there. You know, this is not one of them. This isn't one of them. Like, fan service isn't going to kill anybody. It's not harmful. It's not poisonous. It's not dangerous. It's just another attempt to control what people like and what people can do, you know, in their spare time. You know? That's all this is. It's just another attempt at control. It's always been.
Trails and do our part to rewrite new history, not repeat it. Besides the narcissism of rewriting stories but wokely, they are also using the phrase modern audience, okay? They're not even trying different vocabulary, they're just straight up saying modern audience. And with that sort of idea here, it comes as probably little to no surprise.
And we all know who the modern audience just so happens to be. A bunch of delusional fanatics that, you know, believe a man can be a woman. Biologically. Biologically. I don't understand why you would even I don't understand why you would even be making games for those kinds of people. I mean, I guess a video game is a video game at the end of the day, but like, you know, trying to cater to a audience that's so goddamn small that there's really no point in making video games for them or even movies, any kind of media really. You know, um there's really no point in that. There really isn't. So I don't understand where this bullcrap is coming from, but it's obvious that, well, these companies, they don't care, that they really don't. They just do whatever they want at this point just to make a little bit of extra money. And look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. It's not working in the slightest at all. There are a lot of films that I wanted to watch that I just can't watch. I can't even bring myself to watch now. The Batman reboot is one of them because that has a bunch of DI in it. Race swapping, like, no, bro. Why would you change something that genuinely doesn't need to be changed? That never needed to be changed in the first place. When I heard of a Batman reboot, I was thinking of something a much more darker and edgier take on par with Arkham, with the Batman Arkham trilogy. Instead, we got, a modernized Batman movie that's has a bunch of race swapping in it. It's really outrageous, very outrageous, you know. And I don't even want to watch that movie because of that. Apparently, I did hear that it was good, but like, I just can't get past that stuff, because that's a sign of worse things to come. Because they already did it with 007 First Light with the race swapping. That shit really bothers me. Like, because why would you change an aspect of a video game? Why would you change a character that never needed to be changed in the first place? Like, it's so ridiculous. But they actually believe that it's a good thing, and I cannot get around that. It's outrageous. But I guess in their eyes, we'll just eventually shut up and consume, right? Because we're consumers. We don't know any better. They know what's good best for us gamers. We're terrible people. We are terrible. I cannot for the life of me figure out what is wrong with those people. But like, there is a screw or two loose in there. Probably a million, probably a lot of screws loose in their brains. A lot of screws loose up here. You know, they need help. We need the asylums back because there's too much mental illness in this country, and and mental health is just outright horrible. But I don't know, man. I don't know what else. I don't know what could be done about this. All we can do is just like, do the same shit we've been doing for games like this all the time. Not buying these games and showing companies that we're not gonna take this crap. Or we're not buying this garbage because that genuinely has an impact on them. I mean, it's not our fault that they're losing money because of it. Because when you intentionally, you know, push an agenda, a political agenda into video games, especially a woke agenda, you're not making a game a good game. You're trying to push. You're more concerned with spreading a political, an obvious. You're more concerned with spreading political propaganda than anything. So many great franchises are being ruined because of this garbage. And it's really sad. It's disappointing. You know? They keep destroying the things we love, and this is all out of spite. They are doing this out of spite because they don't like that we don't agree with them. And instead of just saying, okay, if you guys don't agree with us, whatever, we'll make our own stuff for us then. They just have to attack us and threaten us and all this kind of stuff. And that stuff usually doesn't work because at the end of the day, it doesn't help them. It doesn't help their message, and they fail every single time. I don't think they'll ever understand or learn any lesson from this, but hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. That's all I can say at this point.
Surprise that they are a Sweet Baby Inc. client. In fact, if you go to Sweet Baby Inc.'s website,
And my coworker wonders why I hate DEI. This is exactly why. This is exactly why. There's no need for it. There is no need for DEI. DEI was a friggin' mistake. Well, actually, it was much worse than that. It was full on intentional. You know, it's simply disgusting, man. I really don't like DI. It's weird. It's disgusting. It's racist. It's ridiculous. You know, I never needed DI to get my state ID or have the stuff that I have. I never needed DEI for that. You know, the Lord and my mom helped me with that. My grandma. And people are just now just want to take credit for shit that they didn't do, and it's pathetic.
the featured project right at the top is South of Midnight. And in case you want double confirmation, here is the credits for the game, and you can see Sweet Baby is listed. They literally kill everything they're associated with, including the
They sure do.
studios who hired their consultation. But you'll notice many names on here, including Kim Belair, who's the CEO of Sweet Baby, but also Chris Kindred. In case you forgot who that is the guy who started the entire drama involving Sweet Baby by crashing out on Twitter, making a whole thread about Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, a Steam curation group that
Oh,
simply listed
that
the
guy.
publicly listed games that Sweet Baby provided consultation for. He not
That was the best thing Kabrutus ever did, was make Sweet Baby Inc. detective and now detective. That was the best thing he ever did. That was the best thing he's ever done. And of course these people are going to seethe because they don't like being exposed. You know, I mean, when you're sitting here on Twitter crashing out because you don't get your way, you're getting exposed as a bad actor, just wanting to destroy things that people love just for the sake of doing it, and just, trying to force them to accept an ideology that they're not interested in, nor do they want any association with. You're gonna get clowned, man. Like, this is some clown behavior, dude. Like, all over this, man. Jeez, this is the best goddamn thing that's ever happened. You know, the only people who get mad at stuff like this are those who full on intend to destroy the things that you love. Those are the only folks that get mad at this shit. The only ones that get mad at this shit. The people who want to destroy the shit that you love. Just out of spite because you don't accept their ideology.
Not only wanted to mass report the group, he also wanted to mass report the personal account of Cabrutus, who
Which didn't
created the
work.
group. And of course, this effort failed. But this was the first punch thrown, and they were the aggressors here. And this would backfire horribly for Sweet Baby. Now, of course, listening to the very intelligent reporters in the room here, Jason Schreier has assured us that Sweet Baby has nothing to do with the downfall of Compulsion Games, saying, I asked 24 people who worked on the game what went wrong, and not a single one mentioned the words, Sweet Baby, you're chasing.
That's probably because one of two reasons. One, there's probably two reasons, maybe one reason for that. It's number one, they were probably their jobs were probably at risk if they even so much as spoke the truth. Because Sweet Baby Inc. is the reason why a lot of media, movies, TV shows, video games, you name it, are just being outright destroyed and killed. You know, um, and number two, they're probably industry plants themselves. They probably share the exact same ideology. So of course they're not going to mention Sweet Baby Inc. There's two reasons they most likely didn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't mention Sweet Baby Inc. under the threat of being fired and possibly blacklisted. Because Sweet Baby Inc. are that evil. You know, but that's what you get for that's what you get for you know joining the woke agenda. Go woke, go broke. It's pretty simple. It's that easy to understand. And make money off of rage. Yeah, sure. There are some content creators, some anti-woke content creators that are grifters. However, most of them aren't. That's the thing. Most of them aren't. And of course, there are also some who were complete hypocrites too, which goes the same with being grifters. But most of them aren't. You guys are just trying to deflect blame because it's for you folks, it's a lot easier than just accepting that this whole DEI nonsense was a disaster from the beginning and just wasn't feasible. But sure, it's our fault for being mad, for being justifiably mad at having garbage shoved into the things that we love, and mind you, our faces as well.
Angry hallucinations created by grifters who make money off your rage. This was posted in 2024. So Jason Schreier, the all-knowing journalist here, said that you were hallucinating and manipulated by grifters if you think that anything was wrong with South of Midnight and that Sweet Baby had no impact because of their connection. Well,
if that was the case, when we already knew that, if that was really the case here, because I'm pretty sure we would have knew that already. We would have knew we were being rage baited. We would already knew that. We weren't being rage baited. We knew what we were seeing. And we did not like what we were seeing. So we called shit out, we called people out, and now we're here. And you guys keep losing. Because your DI nonsense, it just doesn't work. It's complete and utter BS.
he's once again catching a massive L. This guy literally knows
Of course
nothing.
he is.
But just to remind you, it's the same guy who on day one of release for Dragon Age the Veilguard said, go woke, go brrr, top the charts.
Oh no, bro. Top the charts 58,000? Yeah, I don't see none I don't see no top charts there. No way, dude. There are games with a higher number than that. Like, are you kidding me, man? Even Counter-Strike has more players than that. What? Get bent, man. I don't understand. I remember seeing that post on Twitter too. I remember seeing that post. It was so funny. It was so funny. Oh, and he says, I don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you try to get dunked on. So let me get this straight. You don't like the game, you don't like Veilguard, but You using Veilguard to dunk on chuds? Make it make sense, man. You just humiliated yourself. You just humiliated yourself right there. But I did see that post. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. You know, it was outright funny.
And then when asked, do you actually like this game? He said, I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on. This guy's like 50 years old, unironically using the term
Yep, and yet we still keep winning. I wonder why.
chud. But yes, this guy obviously doesn't know anything. And you don't really have to look too far to find all the issues with compulsion games. It's not just Sweet Baby, it's their own hiring
Look like Kamala
practices.
Harris.
This is Katie, also known by the handle Pikachulita, who was the community manager
Oh
for
yeah,
compulsion
that.
games. You can see
Oh.
their wonderful tweets like Asian and whites, aka white adjacent. Yeah,
Do I even have to go there? Because we could easily go there. We could talk about race if need be, you know. Because there are a lot of things that I have to say about some races. So and it's not Asian or white. No, I got some very colorful things to say about other races. You know, but I'm not gonna do it because I've done that enough in my previous videos, and I'm not gonna do it here. You know, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I mean, I did talk about Islam a few seconds, but hey, that was just a stray, two strays that were intentional, obviously. But you know, Asian and white, yeah, the hatred of Asian and white people, yeah, because anyone who is not dark skinned is an evil colonist, right? No, these people are so fucking racist, bro, and they have a nerve to call other racists racist. Let that sink in. These people are projecting so hard, and they refuse to see it. I need whiskey, man. I really do. Just this once I need whiskey.
I'm sorry, Asian viewers out there. You are now white adjacent, according to this racist individual. Unfortunately, on social media, Asians are kind of in the same boat with white people. It's like the safe thing to be racist towards, especially.
Do they not even know the difference between Asians and white people? Like, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that because as far as I'm concerned, Asian and white people are both human beings. The difference doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't even matter. They're both human beings and they should be treated as such. You know, I mean, really? Really? Why do we have to make everything about race? Like, geez. And it's always the usual suspect doing this, too. Always the usual suspect. Especially with the country flags. It's always the usual suspect. To be honest, I'm surprised there's no trans flag or friggin' pride flag in the in there. Like, because I was expecting that too. I was literally expecting that shit. But, no, like, the usual suspect talking about other races. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? You know, this is so disappointing and embarrassing. And we're a laughing stock because of this stuff. Our country is a friggin' laughing stock because of people like her. Good lord, man.
By woke people. But she wasn't done there. She also openly stated that she hates gamers.
Does she really think we care? We don't care. We don't care. We don't go around, our lives don't revolve around thinking about you delusional folks. We don't care if you hate us. You don't have to like us. But either way, we're still winning. We are still winning. The only reason you hate gamers is because you can't control gamers. That's the only reason you hate them. You can't control us and you want to. Well, it's not going to work because it's not happening. It's not our problem that you want to try and control us and, control what we consume, what we like, what our ideology is, our values and stuff. You can't just sit there and try to control other people. Because you folks keep trying to do that and then wonder why y'all get humiliated and mocked and laughed at.
Wonderful. If I'm Compulsion Games, I want to hire a community manager who hates gamers to
Remember, folks, you know why Halo hasn't been good? You know why we haven't got a good Halo game since Halo Reach? That's because people who hate Halo were hired to make Halo games. Now, I don't know about Hidden Xperia or other content creators that do talk about Halo a lot, but we gotta have a talk, man, about people gotta start talking. People gotta start speaking out about this, the enshittification of once great video game franchises. Like, on top of Halo already being a woke mess from Halo 4 all the way up to Halo Infinite, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie, Halo Infinite was slightly solid, but like it could have been a lot better than that. It could have been a lot goddamn better. Like, you know, we went from straight up Halo Combat Evolved all the way to Halo Campaign Evolved. And honestly, I do like the Flood, the depiction of the Flood in the game. And you know what? Just this once, I'm going to get Halo Campaign Evolved. And I hate to say that because I don't want to go back on my promise not to touch the game, especially with it being woke already. I've seen the Cortana design and I was just disgusted. Like, you know, I'm not asking to make Cortana good enough to where I can hump the goddamn screen all day. I just want Cortana to be the same way she's always been Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2 and Halo goddamn 3. It's not that hard, man. I mean, of course, and then of course, Captain Keyes gets friggin' race swapped in the Halo TV show, which was bad from the get go because it was just a mixed match of stuff and nothing made any sense. Like nothing made any sense, you know. But like we got to start talking about not just the wokeism in modern video games, especially when it comes to Halo, but also how badly handled video games are becoming. Like, you know people who hate video games shouldn't be making video games or developing them. No, people who love video games and are fans of the franchises should be the ones making the video games and publishing them. Why would you hire somebody who hates video games to make them? Like, it's one thing to hire Trevor Phillips voice actor, Trevor Phillips actor, to act as Trevor Phillips, even though he doesn't really like video games and isn't really all that enthusiastic, with Grand Theft with video games at all. But like, at least he's not out here, at least he's not out there, saying that he hates gamers and shit. I hope not. I hope I didn't miss anything. you know, no, you just see these people doing it. Like, for what reason would you hate gamers? Obviously, because you can't get your way, and we're not letting you get your way. These people just stink, man. They just think they're friggin' childish. Well, they're not even childish. They are just straight up toddlers.
help promote our games. Excellent decision, but it's not only gamers she hates, it's also white people.
Of course, yeah. I can just feel the radiant racism all the way from through the screen. Yep, I'm white and Mohegan Indian and only a tiny bit black and part Italian. So you know what? I can feel the heat. I can feel the radiant racism radiating right through the screen. So, but I wouldn't be surprised. I won't be surprised when people start trying to associate me with white folks. I mean, I really don't care though. I really don't care. I really don't care. Because if I even bothered to care what those woke people think, you know, I would have lost me a long goddamn time ago. I would have been just like them wild animals who call themselves anti-ICE protesters on in the goddamn streets. Heck, I might have even been, might have even became a Muslim. But nope, I'm a hardcore American. Hardcore US citizen, always been for 23 years. 23 years old, never gonna change. Ever. All that matters right now is my people and my country, my country and my folk and my people in the country. Everyone in the country, even the ones we don't like, just because they're ridiculous nuisances. You know, I mean, I like the UK as well. I never been there, but I still like the UK. One, because of their trains, and two, because of their very, very, very how do I say this? Their very elegant accent.
specifically, saying that white male gamers were a mistake.
Um, I could think of a lot of human beings that were a mistake, but I wouldn't be dumb enough to. Usually wouldn't be dumb enough to say that innocent human beings were a mistake simply because of their race. You know, because that would require me to you know, say that God made a mistake making innocent people, and I'm not bold enough to do that kind of thing. I am not bold enough to do that. Nope. No. I mean, he literally just he destroyed two worlds. He got his hands dirty because people were being evil. And there wasn't really too much he could do other than just slam his fist on the reset button. You know, um so I wouldn't go walk around saying something like that. You know, I don't feel like being struck with a lightning bolt. You know, I don't want to know what that feels like. You know, I really don't. All jokes aside, dude, you know, white male gamers were a mistake. Like I said, there are a lot of human beings that I could easily say were a mistake. A lot. Certain groups too I could say were a definite mistake. You know, but I don't just go around just saying that because there's a time and a place. And more importantly, why am I going to what's the point? Why would I want to group innocent people together with terrible people? Like that's just wild. Like this is peak generalization and just straight up racism. And they say that they're all loving and accepting. I don't get that. How can you say that you're accepting, peaceful, and loving when you're sitting up here shitting on white people as a whole just because they're white? That makes no goddamn sense. And especially men too. You're shitting on all men as well. Like, dude, really? Wow. What do you know? Jeez. I wonder how many baby daddies you might have with kids you don't even know who the father. I wonder how many kids you have that you don't even know who the fathers are.
Well, I think the hiring choice here was the biggest mistake because, as it turns out,
Absolutely.
nobody played this game. Now,
Yep.
since then, Pikachu Lita
Uh
has
oh.
fled to Blue Sky.
Here we go with the pronouns. Here we go. The lovely pronouns, which serve as a red flag. And then there's socialists. Oh boy. The whole 9 yards. All that's missing is the flag. Oh, and there's also just the blue sky profile too. There's blue sky. Good lord. That has got to be the worst attempt at cribbing Twitter I've ever seen. Like, come on, bro. You really think you can just crib Twitter like that? No way. You can't replace Twitter. You can't even copy off of that. It shit just doesn't look the same. Wrong. Wow. I ain't unemployed. I'm so disappointed. Disappointed in yourself? I would hope so. At stalking and obsessing? Okay. Let's make this very clear. No one is stalking you or obsessing over you. The only people who would be would be doing such things are from your own ideology. Those are the people who stalk you and are obsessed with you. And they're just as delusional and brainwashed as you are. So, honestly, you know, those are your only fans. No pun intended. I trained you better, but you can't even get your facts right. You didn't train anyone, you didn't train anyone. What? Hold on.
Like so many of these woke wackadoos,
Yep.
and you can see the profile, it just adds up so much. She, her, bipan,
Yep.
womanist.
Bi-pan. How can you be bisexual and pansexual at the same time? That makes no goddamn sense. These made up words are just getting out of hand, man. They're just getting out of hand. I can't take this no more. Like, just looking at this stuff. It's bad enough Blue Sky just cribbing Twitter, dude. But like this? Yeah, no, this is social media for this is a social media platform for mentally ill people. I swear this is. That's pretty much what Blue Sky is at this point. Hey,
Socialists. Oh boy. First of all, besides how cringeworthy this is, I ask this all the time. Is this a dating app or something? Why do you have to immediately like tell everyone your sexual preferences? Like this is your official account for your journalism work?
yeah, and think about that for a second. All these people do is shove they shove their preferences, their sexuality in everyone's faces and get mad when no one like when people tell them to back off. It's like, okay, you're bisexual, congratulations. I mean, am I supposed to care? These people literally do this. They just shove that in your face and expect you to care. And then she has for liberation. What kind of liberation are we talking here? Because just pushing your ideology onto the entire population of the country uh isn't really liberation. That's indoctrination. That's also that's also dictatorship, and tyranny. I mean, I don't know where this behavior is coming from. I don't know what what they put in the goddamn water and the food, the stuff that we eat and drink, to create retards like this. But I can only imagine. But there's the obvious implication that it's seems to be working very well.
Or your overall work in the industry, not journalism, but overall work in the industry, like the first thing people have to know is who you want to sleep with.
Yeah, and why are we supposed to even care, dude? Like, why are we supposed to care? I don't. When I work, when I'm working as a stalker, bro, I don't go around telling every goddamn customer within 500 feet of me that, hey, I'm straight. I like women because you know people don't go to the store. They don't go to a store to hear anything like that. They don't go to a store to hear about someone's sexuality, or people are who you know people are someone is sexually interested, and they go to shop. The same thing with video games and gamers. Gamers don't play games like Warhammer Space Marine 40K Space Marine 2 to learn about to see if Captain Titus is into is into sleeping with men or sleeping with women. No, we play Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 because it's epic.
And also doing on Blue Sky is diabolical, but Anyways, you can see this interaction with Alyssa Mercante, the former Kotaku journalist who said, "Love to the devs today. Anyone celebrating people losing work is
That's
a
okay, thank you.
ghoul." Which is very ironic. This person would celebrate anyone she doesn't like
Yeah, love to the devs today. Anyone celebrating people losing work is a ghoul. What? No one is celebrating. No one is celebrating those those industry drones losing their jobs. No. Um. We're just tired of all this garbage that you folks keep that garbage ideology you folks keep trying to shove down our throats being pushed into video games and movies, places where it doesn't belong. It doesn't even belong on the goddamn streets. It's how bad it is. You know, and the fact that that makes you mad is wild. Like, hey guys, I hate it. Hey, anyone who doesn't allow me to force my ridiculous ideology down their throat is a ghoul. They're a bad person. They're a bad person. They need to die. That's all you folks say. Like that's all. That's the only ideology you folks have. Is that anyone who doesn't support your ideology needs to die. He needs to be murdered, raped, you name it. I mean, like, and for what? Over an ideology no sensible person, that no sensible individual would even want to be associated with. Like, I have no issues with homosexuality, and I'm a God fearing man. Like, and I can turn a blind eye to abortion in the cases of rape and incest, and for child pregnancy. I'm not really with it. I'm not with it with the elective abortions and stuff. Like, that's just a little too much. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and just water at the mouth when it comes to anti-abortion legislation because that doesn't really fix anything or solve anything. The same way that gun control doesn't do too much of anything other than just punish law-abiding citizens. You know, but like, this is just like this is like this is too much. This is like way too goddamn far. This is a line that has been crossed, man. And especially when it comes to trying to indoctrinate children with this garbage, like that's a line, man. Y'all have like crossed the line, and now y'all are mad that we're trying to push y'all back over it or back behind it. Like, really? Okay, what does this say? There's a mouth or two I'd love to shut violently. Well, I mean, you can always try, but I guarantee you won't be the one shutting the mouth violently. I guarantee you your jaw would be broken. You folks just don't understand that y'all be making threats towards the wrong folks. Like, y'all make threats towards the wrong folks and y'all gonna find yourselves dead or in prison. You know? Come on. And permanently? Yeah, okay, tough folks. Go do something about it. Like, seriously. Y'all know that y'all not going to do too much of anything other than do the exact same thing y'all been doing for a while. Complain on social media that people won't, accept your ideology, your ridiculous ideology, and play victim, when called out. That's the only thing y'all do. Y'all always be making them threats, but y'all never do anything because y'all know y'all only work good in the pack, and even then, y'all are screwed if other people start pulling up. If real folks start pulling up. These folks have never been in a fight before. I can tell.
losing their job or losing opportunities. It's just bold-faced hypocrisy.
Yeah,
But this person, very
and mind you, these are the same folks that celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk and then cry. And a lot of them, not these three specifically, a lot of those folks who celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk, they ended up fired. There was one woman who actually managed to win a settlement or win money for like celebrating the death of the murder of Charlie Kirk. And I was like, wait, hold on a second. Nah, she shouldn't be getting anything. The only thing she should be getting is left in a ditch, for that, because you don't just go around, mocking the a victim of murder. That's evil, bro. That deserves some harsh punishment, man. You know, the only thing she should have got was a nice stay, a nice 12-month stay in solitary confinement. That's what she should have got. That's what she needed. That's what she should have got, not money, because that's just enabling those kinds of maniacs.
Tough person says, there's a mouth or two I'd love to shut violently.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
tough guy.
shiver me timbers, ladies and gentlemen.
We're so
We have a very
scared.
tough guy here over on Blue Sky.
Yep.
But of course, that sort of violent rhetoric is normalized over there. I mean, it
Blue
is
Sky
literally an
is a
insane asylum.
is
But
social
you can
media
see
for cowards,
Pikachu
man.
Lita, the former community manager for Compulsion Games, saying,
Yep. Blue Sky is basically a whole cult. Is basically a whole cult for like cowards who know they won't do anything in person, but can make all them threats online. Like, come on, man. What are y'all trying to prove?
permanently. So there's some voices she would like to shut up violently and permanently. A not so subtle call to violence
I
to
would.
basically
I,
off people if they're celebrating the shutdown of Compulsion Games.
I
And
would
she's not
love to
done with the
see
crash
that.
outs.
I would
Now, of
love to
course, this
see that.
post is blocked. I don't know how Blue Sky works.
Oh, here we go with the cracker the cracker again. Oh boy, here we go with this. Here we go with this again. I wanted to say something wild, but I don't even know anymore. Honestly, I don't even care anymore. I really wanted to say something wild when I saw that. When I saw that, I wanted to say something crazy just now. I was about to start talking crazy, dude. Okay, Queen EBT.
But all I know is that today she replied to whoever this is saying, boo hoo cracker. I see the hatred of white people has not stopped.
Yeah, yeah, I see that too. I see that too. I see that too. Kate, Pikachu leader. Which race of human beings has the highest crime rate in the United States? I think you know who does. I think you know what the answer is, but I'll let you guess. And spoiler alert, it's not white people or Asians.
Again, these sorts of things should follow you forever. Like, if you're going to be
I agree. I do agree. Like, there's a difference between saying something in the heat of the moment and like intentionally saying something to belittle someone.
in the gaming industry and you're just an open racist, how does
Yeah,
anyone hire this? Like, if someone hires this individual, you should remind that studio that this is the person you're hiring. Not only
exactly. Like, exactly. Where's the petitions to fire these kinds of people?
someone who hates gamers, but someone who is an open, unapologetic racist. There is no room
Well, they haven't met me yet. They haven't met me yet, I'll tell you that. I'm not exactly open, and I try not to say, things that sometimes shouldn't be said. I try to use the time and a place rule. But when people snap, I'll snap back. I hit right back. I really don't care because when you know that the consequences of your actions are a thing, then you shouldn't even be mad when you get what you deserve.
in the industry for someone like this, but we know how it is. It's a woke club over there. I'm sure she's going to find more work, but Of course, you'll have these screenshots to remind these studios.
Does she even have a job? Like, there's no way she has an actual job. There's no way. If she does, then that surprises me. That really does surprise me. It really would surprise me if she actually does have a job.
Why no one wants to support them now if they hire someone like this.
Yeah.
But of course, to another blog
I
post.
left Compulsion a year ago, losers. No, you didn't. You were probably fired. You were probably let go. You were probably laid off. I don't think you left Compulsion a year ago. Cope. 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 Pikachu Lita. Cope. You know, we know this woman did not leave. We know this thing did not leave Compulsion. She was probably laid off. Because there were a bunch of layoffs, that did happen.
She says, I
Especially
left
last
Compulsion
year.
a year ago. Losers. LMAO, you're so desperate for what you consider to be a win and spending so much time thinking about me. I almost feel sorry for you. Total narcissist.
We don't need you folks feeling sorry for any of us. You know, we don't need you folks feeling sorry for any of us because we're not the problem. We're not the ones with problems. You guys
But
are.
they continue on saying, the world would be a better place without you.
Sounds like someone's going through a crisis. Is that what you've been thinking your whole life, Pikachu Leader, that the world would be a better place without you? That's tough. That's really tough. But you should consider calling the National Suicide Hotline, when you're feeling like that, because there's always another way. There's always another and much better way. And look, just to be general here, if you're ever feeling like the world would be a better place without you, unless you're, an evil human being, then in that case, the world really would be a better place without you. But I'm not here to have that kind of conversation right now. So, um, that's not the topic of today's video. But if you if you are in crisis, having thoughts of suicide, and you feel like, you feel like the world would be a better place without you, or you feel like, you know, you feel hopeless, you feel like nothing's ever going to get better, and you feel like, you believe taking your own life is going to make everything better, it's not. It won't. Please. It is simply not worth it. No. Because you're not going to have the happy ending that you think you are. No, do not do it. It's a bad idea. There's a reason you shouldn't commit suicide. And it's much larger than, that it's much larger reason. It's a much larger thing than simply that it's bad, that there's another way. No, there's a reason you don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. It is not worth it because there's not always going to be a second chance at life. Shoot, there are times where there are a lot of us who've gotten a lot more chances, a lot of chances in life, and with something like that, a second chance is rare. And I think a lot of you know what I'm referring to. There's just some things you do not do. There are just some things you do not do for your own sake. So, if you are feeling like you want to commit suicide, don't. There are people out there that do care about you. There are people out there that do care about you, that do love you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. You don't need to take your own life. Don't lose hope. Even if you don't believe in him, do not lose hope. Don't lose faith. Because they will get better. They will get better. There are people out there who love you. Taking your own life is not the answer. It will not solve your problems. It's like drinking. It's like constantly drinking. It's not going to solve your problems. It's not going to make things better. Call the National Suicide Hotline. Please. Now back to the video.
Have the end you deserve. So, again, wishing death upon people if they
So basically, she's encouraging innocent folks to commit suicide. That is a crime, you know. That is a literal crime. To do that, that's a crime. Because first of all, that's hate speech. Um, and I'm pretty sure, depending on what state she's in, that might be a crime. Because in some states, saying stuff like this is considered a crime.
I guess, think differently or think that compulsion games shutting down is a good thing, which, by the way, Pikachu Lita, I think it is a good thing, and I think it is a massive win because, again,
It absolutely is. We keep winning. Us gamers keep winning, and folks like her keep losing. Whatever it's supposed to be. Folks like it keep losing. You know, because because their whole ideology is nonsensical, and barely anyone would take that seriously. Besides, it's far more harmful to human. It's far more harmful than anything else.
they represent you. They represent Sweet Baby. They represent everything against the interest of gamers. This studio
They seem to forget that we're not outnumbered. We outnumber them 100 to 1 million.
shutting down is a good thing for the industry. This was a bunch of slop. And at the end of the day, you know what? They didn't sell any copies.
No.
Yeah, it turns out when you have $100 million budget, you gotta actually sell copies.
Yes.
And no matter how much Polygon and these journalists cope and say, wait a second, this is an award winning studio, that's not enough. You can win as many awards as you want, get as many pats on the back from the shills in the industry as you want, but at the end of the day, did you sell copies? And South of Midnight and Compulsion Games did not. And really, the game itself is not some atrocious piece of garbage, but nobody wanted to support this game because of its connections to Sweet Baby and maniacs like Pikachu Lita. But of course, the shills, they're not giving up, okay? When pointing out...
Buddy, your gamer voice means nothing. The game won award. What? Okay, so it won awards. The game didn't even deserve any kind of award. Like, the game awards are friggin' rigged, dude. I mean, seriously, that's like saying IGN said the game was great. Yeah, no, you don't ever take any ratings from IGN seriously, because they're all a bunch of woke journalists who give the highest ratings to the shittiest games while giving the lowest ratings to some of the best goddamn games around. It's so pathetic. And people liked it. Unfortunately, it fell to capitalism, which, what is too big brain for someone that pisses their pants over black people? No one's pissing their pants over black people. No one cares, dude. No one is pissing their pants over black people. No, we're just tired of woke slop being shoved directly in our faces and being forced to expect it and forced to accept it. And because we are not accepting it, and y'all keep losing, y'all are mad. But there's nothing you can do. All you can do is just throw tantrums over y'all not getting your way. It's really pathetic how y'all just have to keep coping this badly. But hey, it doesn't really hurt us at all. It doesn't. There's no skin off our nose, no hair off our back. We just keep winning. And we don't even need to do anything other than just not support games we don't like, which there's nothing wrong with that. If y'all don't like it, that's y'all problem. That is none of our concern. Too bad. What you gonna do about it? You gonna cry? I mean, you might as well, because you know you're not gonna win. So there's that. You know, the game won awards and people liked it. If people liked it, you would think the game would be a little bit more popular than this. You know, almost everybody and their mama would be playing this game. You know what a popular game is? Halo Combat Evolved. And Halo 2, and then there's Halo 3. You know how many people were playing those games when they came out? Well, you know, when they were coming out, or when they were about to come out? Well, no, I didn't mean to say that. Because that sounds stupid. You know how many people were waiting for those games? There were lines, fans, people excited. When I think of a popular game, I think of those three games. And then there's Reach and Halo 3 ODST. That's not a popular game. That's garbage. That's Sweet Baby Inc. garbage. Only you folks are playing that garbage, and it's just not enough. No, there's not enough of you folks to sustain, to financially sustain support for that game. And because of that, y'all keep trying to convert us by force into y'all. And we're not having it. And y'all don't like that. That's the only reason you folks throw temper tantrums, is because y'all want more drones to support these shitty games, and you know we're not having it, so y'all have to be mad. Y'all just end up getting mad over it because y'all can't control us. Y'all can't indoctrinate us. Y'all can't assimilate us. This ain't the thing. Y'all ain't assimilating us. We just keep using that flamethrower. We just keep using that flamethrower. That's it, man. Y'all thought y'all could assimilate us, but nah, we had that flamethrower ready and in hand.
That there is a connection to Sweet
We
Baby.
had that
This
fire
person
stick.
says, "Buddy, your gamer voice means nothing."
And I find it funny that average writer says that when it's clearly the complete opposite. Or when it's not even true. Our gamer voices are far more effective than these folks.
Well, first of all, clearly it does mean something because gamers spoke with their wallets and they said
Yep.
no. And now this studio is shutting down, so just completely incorrect.
Yes.
But they continue on
It's on
saying,
purpose anyway.
the game won awards and people liked it. Well, I'm
No.
glad all 1,000
Yeah.
people really liked it. But it turns out, in order to keep your lights on as a studio, a lot of people gotta like your game. And when you have a
Yes.
$100 million budget, millions of people better like your game. Otherwise, it is a financial disaster. But they add on saying, unfortunately, it fell to capitalism.
No, it did not, because that's not even how capitalism works, man. That is not how it works. The only reason it failed is because it was a woke game that was done by Sweet Baby, that had involvement with Sweet Baby Inc. You know, so us gamers made the very wise decision of voting with our wallets, which means that game did not get any money from us. And so the studio was shut down. Such a shame. This is what happens when you try to force your ideology on other people. They just don't support you. They completely ignore you. And there's really nothing you can do about it.
Which is too big brain for someone that pisses their pants over black people. Oh,
Uh-huh. I bet you folks defend black people who murder other folks too. Especially if the victim is a different race. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop the madness. It ain't worth
it's
it.
all about racism. It's ironic
Yep.
given the fact that a core component of this was a racist community manager. But
Yep.
now, yep, this game is the victim of racism and capitalism
The
because evil
irony.
capitalism did it again. The funny thing is, they're kind of right about capitalism, but not for the reasons they're
Yeah.
thinking. Video games like this, they succeed or not because of capitalism. It's very simple. The market is given the
Oh,
choice.
okay, so
Do
it
you want
kind
to
of
support
was,
this
but not for
product
the
or
reason I
not?
thought. Okay, then.
And everyone said no.
Yep.
So I think that's actually a great function of capitalism, getting
Yes.
rid of the waste like this.
Exactly. If people don't like a product, they don't have to buy it. And as a result, the company either continues thriving or it just completely blows.
And making sure everyone involved knows that what they did will not be supported.
This is a
But
message.
Asmongold would reply saying,
Oh yeah, my buddy Asmongold. Wow, that sounds great. So true. Maybe you can send this to all the unemployed devs and can use it and they can use it in their applications to McDonald's to explain why they left their previous job. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem working at McDonald's, but yeah, you better start finding the fast food. Better start flipping burgers. You know, better start flipping burgers or something because, hey, they had one job and they failed. They absolutely failed. And it's not our fault they did. We just didn't want to buy their crappy game. It's not our problem that the shoot studio got shut down. They made a game we didn't like. We just didn't buy it. We don't like it. We don't buy it, right? But I guess only when it applies to them. I guess only when they're the ones doing it. I guess it's okay, right? Nah, it goes both ways. If we don't like a product, we don't buy it. It's pretty simple. And people, I guess they just mad at that. That they can't control other people. At the end of the day, regardless of whatever they say, their words have no bearing on any of us. If we like something, we buy it. If we don't buy it. It's that simple. What are they going to do about it? They're going to cry on Twitter? There's really nothing they can do about it other than just throw temper tantrums on social media and hope that they guilt trip someone to you know apologize for something they did that wasn't even wrong to begin with.
Wow, that sounds great. So true. Maybe you can send this to all the unemployed devs and they can use it in their application to McDonald's to explain why they left their previous job.
Asmongold had to have been cackling while he was typing this because that is funny,
Which,
man. It's
yeah,
such a
you
beautiful
don't get
burn.
bonus points as a studio or as a former employee if the game won awards. Like, you're not going to get a handicap because of it. You're just going to end up filing an application to work somewhere else, and
Yeah,
this image is once again evergreen. But
and
that
I work at a friggin' dollar store, so I wish they would complain about that. I really wish they would. I work at a friggin' dollar store, bro, and I get shit pay. I really wish they would complain.
original poster would reply
At
with
least I do have a
facts
job.
and logic,
The
saying no.
roach. Do you even know how to spell roach, man? Like, it's not hard to spell, you know? The roach noticed me. The grammar, the spelling, and it doesn't even take much to fix this or even think this before typing it out. Oh boy. Don't act like you care now. Wasn't this game in your DEI detector list, you clout chaser? So why care now? I'm pretty sure it was in his DEI detector list. And it's wonderful. Because that's exactly where it deserves to be. It's in the DEI detector dungeon. You know, and Zach doesn't actually care. He's just straight up telling you that, it's not our fault as gamers that, the studio that should have made a great video game decided to completely just decided to make a shitty game, a shitty woke game. It's not our fault that the studio got shut down for it because no one was really buying it and playing it. I mean, come on, man. It's not our fault. Why do y'all folks care so much that we don't support y'all ideology? I mean, I already said why or gave my theory as to why because it just makes so much sense. You know, but why do y'all folks care so much that we don't share y'all ideology and want nothing to do with it? Like, why do y'all have to insert yourselves into our friggin' lives, bro? We don't know y'all and we don't care about y'all, dude. Everybody together. Chudge stand for nothing except a puddle of their own piss and tears. What? Actually, Chudge do stand for something. They have way more morals and values than you folks do. You folks have stand on nothing. You folks stand for nothing. All you folks do is practice evil. Like, all y'all folks do is stupid shit. Your ideology is stupid. Y'all behavior is dumb. Y'all treatment of innocent people is just garbage and shitty. I mean, come on. Like, If we stand for nothing and accept a puddle of our own piss and tears, then why do we keep winning? You're just coping because you know we keep winning. You know everything we said is right. You know, you just refuse to admit it because you've been brainwashed with that pathetic woke ideology for so long that that's all you know. Not our problem though. Fix it. You know, get that ideology out of your thick skull.
Number one, the Roch. Notice me. So you
Yep,
can't
the Roch. The Roch is coming out tonight. Don't turn on the lights, cause the Roches will get you.
even spell Roach. Interesting. For the average writer, by the way, that's the name of their accounts. But number
Yep.
two, they say, don't act like you care now. Wasn't this game in your DEI detector list? You clout shit.
Also, Asmongold's not a clout chaser. He speaks the truth almost 100% of the time. Maybe, 100% of the time. Why the fuck not? He speaks the truth. He's not a clout chaser. If he was, we would already knew. We wouldn't even be giving him the time of our day. We wouldn't even be giving him attention. You guys will call folks anything for speaking the truth.
You clout chaser, so why care now? Everyone together should stand for nothing except a puddle of their own piss and tears. Shiver me timbers, ladies and gentlemen. Another very tough
Wow,
individual, probably
such a
projecting.
tough guy burn. Wow, such a tough guy, man. Such a wise, inspirational Twitter, such a wise, inspirational, woke Twitter user. Come on, man. Really? Cope.
About how meek and
Cry
afraid they
more,
are.
dude.
But this person is just so confused. They don't even know what they're saying.
Yup, they really don't. Because none of that
Wasn't
made
this
any
game
sense.
on your DEI detector? I don't think Asmongold, number one, created that group. I mean,
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, that's not Cabrutus. Like, it's funny because I actually thought, I just realized that, yeah, that wasn't even. I knew that was Asmongold, but I forgot Asmongold wasn't the one who had a DEI detector list. No, no, that's right. Cabrutus did that. That's right. Cause like you see, um, where's the Cause you see, I got the tabs open. I got the goddamn tabs open. You know, here. So
we know he didn't. But also, did he even refer to that Steam curation group? Probably not. And also, to add on to the not caring, he literally streamed this game. He gave it free publicity to let people see, hey, do you like this game, in front of his massive audience? And it didn't turn anyone over. They didn't care because the game just wasn't that exciting. And also, calling Asmongold a clout chaser while
is
you're
rich.
desperately trying to get attention, and literally first thing you do is point out that you've been noticed by Asmongold.
Yeah.
Diabolical. But
It almost sounds like that's exactly what the average writer was trying to do, to get noticed by Asmongold or some other content creator that's anti woke. You know, like they always be trying to get our attention because they know that they keep losing and that we keep winning. You know, they're mad that we can't be the DEI drones they want us to be. That's why they keep attacking us and threatening us and shaming and guilt tripping. All different forms of manipulation they try to use. And even death threats, man. It's so friggin' funny.
as pointed out by Savvy here, the Shills just aren't sending their best. So as pointed out, their own DEI shill wouldn't even touch the game and even lashed out at me when I questioned her on why.
So Madam Savvy's pointing out a hypocrite. Why am I not surprised, man? Good lord. Wow, shout out to Madam Savvy, man. Shout out to Madam Savvy.
This was months after release. So here's one of the shills saying, okay, I have a confession. I have not played this game yet, but I will, promise. And they add on saying, And here I am, still just talking, not gaming. We need more gaming. So yeah, the shills of this
Okay,
game.
so let's see. Their own DEI show wouldn't even touch the game and even lashed out at me when I questioned her on why. I think I seen the post. I think I did see that. This was months after release. I might have, I'm not sure. She was part of the goofball advertisement show and said, "We need more games like this," and refused to play it. This is a DI leash who gives Microsoft DI bullshit to DI with, to die with, and it refuses to play the games made for it. Yep. This is also the same person posting grotesque SpongeBob genitalia drawings claiming it's. Whoa! Okay. This took a turn for the worse really quickly. This escalated very quickly. Claiming his child, who was apparently the one who drew it, I guess? The one who drew it. What? When I say grotesque, I mean truly inappropriate. Something a girl should be doing so not. What? Anatom anatomically. Oh. Do I even want to know? Because this sounds really bad. I don't even think I want to
Game are
know.
not only complete spazzes, but they don't even play the game. I mean, this is literally the modern audience at work, ladies and gentlemen. They don't even show up for the things that they're shilling desperately for.
No.
It's just poetic at this point. You can see Polygon really trying hard, saying Microsoft made
Oh, I hate Polygon. Always, they're just like The Verge with all the god darn like misleading articles and shit. Like, jeez, man, so many, so many woke left leaning friggin' like articles, dude. So many outlets, man, and none of them tell the god darn truth. They say the quiet part out loud, but they never tell the truth, man. Polygon is just straight up criminal, dude. They be they be they be filling the articles with nothing but friggin' lies, dude.
be shutting down the studio
And mind you, they don't even get straight to the goddamn point. They literally just lead you on. And like they do that when it comes to video game mods, they literally do that shit. Like say if Red Dead Redemption 2 has this new popular mod out or I don't know, whatever. Um they will, they will have like the beginning of the article, even the title be like, you know, acting as like as if they were referring to a new DLC expansion or a whole new game or something. And come to find out it's a goddamn mod. It's not even a DLC. It's just a straight up mod, dude. They be rage bait. They don't rage bait. I don't think they rage bait. I mean, if they do, they suck at it. But like they really be just leading folk. They really just be leading people on, dude. Like the clickbait, man. The click friggin' bait, dude, is strong with Polygon. They fucking suck.
behind one of 2025's best games. Guys,
Yeah,
in
they
the
lied
comment
when they
section,
said that. They absolutely lied. That is not one of 2025's best games. That's probably one of 2025's worst games.
I'm asking you, when you think of 2025, what are the best games that immediately come to mind? Is it South of Midnight?
Absolutely the hell not. Nowhere near South of Midnight. No, that fucking game was shitty. Woke trash. Absolutely not. It is not deserving of the title 2025's best game. Nope, doesn't even deserve a award. If anything, it deserves to be thrown in the goddamn garbage and never brought up again. Nope.
Is it South of Midnight? I'm sure it is.
No, no, it's
Otherwise,
not.
you're
No, no,
racist
no,
and
no,
you're
no.
some evil
No.
capitalist and a gamer, an evil gamer. But yeah, at the end of the day, this just doesn't make the cut.
Yeah, 48 in game, and we've got 90.79% positive reviews. You just know these folks are friggin' shills, dude. 4,000 review, over 4,000 reviews, and we got 48 people in game. Isn't that something? But neither one of them, but most of them ain't gonna leave no negative reviews. I wonder why. I wonder why.
This is not what the one of the best games of 2025 looks like.
Absolutely
Okay,
not.
just abysmal coat. But again, to really hammer this,
Let's see, Grums. Xbox spent $100 million on South of Midnight. They could have funded 10 Expedition 33s instead. The strategy is clear, and it's not about game budgets getting bigger. It's about being leaner and more focused on gaming and what gamers want.
home, $100 million, ladies and gentlemen,
And all that
for
money went
this.
to waste, man.
That's where the money is going, and that is why the industry is on the brink of collapse.
And let me get this straight. And just to drive it home even further, we pay our friggin' taxes, bro. And this is the shit we get. This is what we get. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't remember paying taxes to get shitty games like this. I know that's what taxes are not for, but it just seems like I'm wasting tax money for shit like this. It really does feel like I'm wasting tax money for shit like this.
Well, again, this
Or
award
no, not me, but like it just really feels like my taxes ain't going to shit that they're supposed to be going to.
winning studio, they're shutting down. And what's
Yeah.
this Polygon is pointing
The
out?
looming closure of Compulsion Games is likely the only first of mass layoffs at. Are you kidding me? They've had layoffs before.
Looming
Mass
closure is
layoffs
likely
before,
the
man.
only first of mass layoffs at Xbox. Oh boy. Get those applications ready.
Yep. Get the McDonald's applications ready, folks. Better start learning how to flip burgers.
Because there's another round of mass layoffs, and you know what? You reap what you sow.
Yes.
Check this out. Here's some more
As the good book says.
games that were
Let's see what we got here, because damn, all these corporations keep shutting down through those friendly. What? I don't even know. Those friendly studios that had nothing but the best intention, especially for male gamers. Let's see how they're performing at the moment. Xvoto.
check this
What? Oh, Lord. 1 in game? Oh, wow. That's bad. And then 30 in game? Yeah, that's bad. That is bad, man. That's bad. Yeah, that is absolutely bad. I can only imagine what 1348 X Voto gonna be. That's bad, man. That is bad. Yo, one player in game. Like I do remember that. Like, what was it? Old Halo Online multiplayer. I forget which one, but there was one that was like the servers are gonna be shut down. You know, there was an announcement, and there were like a group of a lot of people who were playing, and then it was just left to a small group of players who were literally playing until the final hours, where where multiplayer would be the servers would be shut down. That was pure dedication. You couldn't pay me to keep playing this or this. Yeah, nah, man, that's not looking too good. They cooked. Oh, that's not even. Oh, that's way down there. Yeah, they cooked, bro. They cooked. Super
out.
cooked.
Here's some more games that
Actually, they done
were
burnt. They
modern
burned at
audience
this point.
approved.
Oh no, Ex Voto. Oh yeah, nah, yo, even Hellblade 2, yeah, nah, they cooked, man. They cooked. They cooked. So much for DI. This is DI, people, and look what it gets you. Nothing. Nothing. It ain't worth it, folks. You go woke, you simply go broke. Yep. So much for diversity, equity, and no, so much for diversity, inclusivity, and equity, right? Except it failed. Very hard. It failed.
I think this is just the first domino. We've already seen on Twitter some
Yeah.
news regarding other studios that Xbox is shutting down, but for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to focus on South of Midnight and Compulsion Games, because that is confirmed. That is 100% over. But
And
again,
if I'm not mistaken, that's not the first. That's not the first studio that was shut down, or maybe was it just or it probably was just under Microsoft that I'm thinking of, and not like under Xbox.
this is the first domino. There's going to be a long series of
Oh
studios
yeah, I
shutting
can
down,
already
lots of
imagine.
layoffs, and they have absolutely nobody to blame but themselves for this. But yeah, overall, that's going to
Oh, and of course, oh yeah, of course, and Kotaku, the lovely little organization of independent shithead journalists. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course they would also be reporting on this.
do for this video. If you enjoyed, consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams a week here live on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yep. Well, you know, let this be a lesson. Like, if you just go woke, you automatically go broke, man. Like, this is a cold, hard lesson. You know, and this is exactly why you don't rely. This is exactly why you don't shove your ideology in people's faces. You know, and especially and especially when it comes to when you're trying to be spiteful and destroy things that a lot of people love simply because they're not interested in your ideology. You know, this is wild, man. Like, this is exactly what happens when you try to force, your own ideology down other people's throats. And we've been saying this for years. Like, and no one listens. It's always the same stuff. And then people, and then these folks, they wonder why things aren't working out so well. You know, I'm not even sure if these people will ever get the message, you know, completely, but um hopefully they do. Hopefully we go back to great video games again and movies and all that good stuff and not have to ever worry about this crap happening again. But we all know the same old shit's going to happen whether we want it to or not. Either way, we're still winning, uh, you know, because we're freaking gamers, dude. We play video games to play great video games, to have fun, to get a break from reality, not to keep not to, end up, you know, not to end up back to the drawing board. You know, we do this shit to escape reality, not to keep being shoved into it. You know, we don't like this shit, bro. And people need those folks need to respect that and understand that. But of course they won't, because in their eyes we're the bad guys because we don't want anything to do with them or their ideology while they're the heroes, because the evil males and the evil white male gamers and the evil male gamers, typical stuff, the typical buzzwords that those folks keep throwing around like they have any meaning to them. You know, it's all just like they're just freaking drones at this point. Like, they're just a straight up hive mind, a cult. They are a friggin' cult, bro. We got another cult. Another cult, bro. We got to. There's enough goddamn cults out in this on the planet, bro. We don't need no more. But unfortunately, well, there is one anyway. Just another cult, man. But let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and shout out to Rev Says Desu for this wonderful video. I really cool reacting to it, man, because he really hit the nail on the head. These wokies, they just don't seem to understand that we just want great games, man. But you know, um, like, subscribe, comment, subscribe to Rev's channel. Uh, that's this the video, guys. Hey, out.